Hi everyone, and welcome to DIY Mummy's Minute, making budget-friendly crafts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now plug in your glue guns and let's get started. Hi everyone, thanks for joining DIY Mummy's Minute. Today we are going to be making 3 Dollar Store Easter Wreaths. We're going to start with our carrot wreath for wreath number 1, and the supplies that you will need are your carrots. So these came in a pack of 15 for $2 at Dollarama, and I used 3 bags of these carrots. For my wreath base, I'll be using this 9-inch rope wreath that I purchased also at Dollarama for $4. You will need some pretty ribbon. I'm going to go with the black and white design, and I picked up 3 different patterns and 3 different sizes, so I'll create my bow at the end with these pieces of ribbon. I also picked up this garland at Dollarama. It was on for $2.50, and it really reminded me of the top of carrots, so I thought it would go good with this wreath. You'll also need a pair of scissors and also your hot glue gun and some glue sticks. So the first step is just taking your garland and attaching it onto your wreath base. So to do this, you can just hot glue the starting of the garland, wrap it all the way around, then you're going to cut it when you come to the end, and then I kind of just tucked it under and hot glued it in place. The next step is just applying your carrots. So to do this, you're just going to add them onto your base using your hot glue gun. It's very easy to do. I alternated my carrots, so one's pointing in and the next one I turned around and I pointed outwards, and I followed this same pattern all the way around the wreath. Just a couple tips when you're going around applying your carrots. When you come to the garland, you can kind of just tuck it in between 2 carrots and leave the piece of the garland sticking out. I think it looks great this way, and it really adds to the wreath. A second tip, if you go all the way around your carrot using your carrots alternating inward and outward, and you come and both of your carrots are pointing the same way at the very end, it's okay, you can hide this with your bow that we're going to add later. So the last step of this carrot wreath is just creating your bow and then applying it onto the wreath. So you're going to start with your smallest ribbon and just do this cross pattern, fold down the top and pinch in the middle. And then to keep it in place, you're just going to use a small piece of wire and you're going to twist it in the middle. Then to hide that piece of wire, you're just going to cut a small piece of the same ribbon and just hot glue it around the middle, and that just hides your wire. You can then just trim your 2 tails and you have the perfect bow. So you can stop here and apply your bow, or you can go ahead and add some more dimension. So with my bow, I'd use 3 different sizes. So I had a large width, a medium width, and then the smaller one. To add the other 2 ribbons, all I do is create loops with them both. So you want to cut them the exact same size, and then you're going to create the loop using your hot glue gun. So just gluing one end to the other. And then you're going to place them on top of each other and pinch them together, creating that bow. So you can pinch the first 2 together using your wire, and then you can go ahead and take your smaller width ribbon and you can hot glue that onto the top of the larger 2. Once your bow is created, you can then go ahead and apply it onto the wreath using your hot glue gun. I applied mine onto the top, but it looked really cute on the bottom as well. So on to Easter wreath number 2. This one was super easy to make. It'd be a great one for the kids. All you're going to need is a wreath base. This one I purchased at Dollarama for $3. And I also got the ears from Dollarama. And then I picked up 2 bundles of this pom-pom yarn, and I got the white to match the ears. You're also going to need some decorative ribbon, so I had this Easter ribbon on hand, and then I'll be using some scissors and of course my hot glue gun and some glue sticks. So to start this wreath off, we're going to take our bunny ears, and you're just going to wrap that headband around the wreath base, and this wreath base I believe was 9 inches. And it fit quite securely on there. However, we're going to take the yarn and we're going to wrap it around, so that will really keep it in place. So when you first start your yarn, you're going to tie the first part together, and I just secured the first pom-pom with my hot glue gun. And then all you do from here is just continuously wrap it around your wreath base. And there's going to be areas that aren't filled. Don't worry about that. Just keep wrapping it around. Try and fill them in as best you can with each pom-pom. But if you end up with a couple bare spots at the end of your yarn, it's okay. We'll fill them in at the end. So you want to go all the way around the wreath base using up that full ball of yarn. And just try to tuck the string in between the pom-poms because they really hide it quite well. So once you come to the end of your ball of yarn, you're just going to take your last pom-pom and tuck it underneath a piece of string of a previous pom-pom. And this is just going to stabilize it, and then you can use your hot glue gun and just glue the last pom-pom in place. So here's what the wreath looks like after I applied one ball of yarn. So I'm going to take my second ball of yarn, and instead of wrapping it around, I'm going to cut the pom-poms separately and then hot glue them into the bare spots. Once you have all your pom-poms in place, you can then go ahead and add your ribbon. So to create my bow, I wanted it to resemble a bunny bum. So to do this, you just need to create a bunch of loops. So I created 6 loops using 2 different ribbons, so 3 loops for each ribbon. And try to make your loops all the same sizes if you can. So I made 3 loops with this stripe ribbon, and then I had this polka dot ribbon. It was a little bit smaller in width, but I also went ahead and created 3 loops with this ribbon as well. Once you have your 6 loops, you're just going to place them all on top of one another, pinch them in the middle, and keep them in place using your wire, and then all you do is just fluff the loops out and make that bunny bum. Once your bow is created, you can then go ahead and apply it onto your wreath. So to do this, I just used my wire that I attached the loops together, and I wrapped it around some of the string from the yarn, and then I secured it on using my hot glue gun. And I put it on the bottom side to make it look like a bunny tail. Moving on to our last Easter wreath, we will be using this grapevine type 9-inch wreath base, which I purchased at Dollarama. It was $3 and it's dyed in the color gray. You can also get it in white. You'll also need a 12-pack, and these are pastel colors, and they were $2.50 for a 12-pack, and there's a variety of colors. I'll be using some brown acrylic paint, and you're also going to be needing a paintbrush with a big bristle. I also picked up this decorative stem in the Easter section at Dollarama, and I will be using some green moss, also purchased from Dollarama. We will also be using our glue gun and some glue sticks, a good pair of scissors, and I will be using a 9-inch embroidery hoop, which I'll show later in the video. The first step in making your nest wreath is you want to prepare your eggs. So you can just leave them in the egg carton, and you're just going to take a small amount of your brown paint and your paintbrush and literally just flick the paint onto your eggs. It's very easy, a little messy. You might want to wear some gloves for this process. But you want to make sure that you get both sides all the way around the egg. So you might let the top side dry and then flip the eggs over and do the bottom side. The next step is taking your grapevine wreath and you're going to take it apart. So this can be a little tedious to do. You got to go slow because you want to try not to break the branches. However, get as many as you can. We won't be using them all, so it's okay if you break some. And little pieces are fine as well. So you just want to go ahead and you're going to carefully take that grapevine apart, getting a bunch of pieces to use for your new wreath. Once you have your pile of grapevines, you can then go ahead and take your embroidery hoop, and you're just going to hot glue your pastel Easter eggs all the way around the hoop. And for the 9-inch hoop, I ended up using all 12 of the Easter eggs. Once your eggs are secured on your hoop, you can then go ahead and apply your grapevines. The grapevines are already in a circular shape, so they fit nicely around the Easter eggs or around your hoop. And you can just secure them in place using your hot glue gun. They are also easy to trim, so if you get them around your eggs and they're a little too long on one side, you can easily just use your scissors to cut off any excess that you won't be using for your wreath. Once you have a few grapevines in place, you can easily just take more and you can weave them in and out through ones that are already on your wreath. So it gets easier and easier as you go, but just remember to always secure using your hot glue gun. So I just continued adding grapevines until I got the desired look that I was looking for, and I really wanted this wreath to resemble a nest. Once you're happy with your grapevine, you'll take your green moss, and I'm just going to hot glue pieces of the green moss all the way around the embroidery hoop, kind of hiding it so you no longer see it. So it's underneath the Easter eggs, so it kind of looks like the Easter eggs are lying on the moss. So here's what the Easter wreath looks like once the moss is applied. And our next step and the last step is just applying our decorative Easter stem. So I cut off all of the little buds, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun, and I'm going to hot glue each little bud or stem in between eggs, so kind of in the moss in between the eggs, and I went all the way around doing this same process. And there we go, we have our Easter egg nest wreath. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making these wreaths. Please like and subscribe for more DIY fun.